Imagine walking into a room, and before you even sit down, you feel it. That heavy, suffocating energy. The kind that makes your stomach twist, the kind that steals your joy before a single word is even spoken. You can't see it, but you know it's there because some people carry storms inside them. And if you're not careful, they'll make you live in their weather. Here's the truth. Every single one of us at some point will cross paths with someone like this. The kind of person who drains you, manipulates you, or chips away at your confidence until you start doubting yourself. And most people, they fight back with anger, or they stay quiet and let themselves get crushed. But both of those choices give the toxic person exactly what they want, control. So let me ask you this. What if you could walk into that same room, look that storm in the eye, and remain completely unshaken? What if instead of shrinking or exploding, you held so much power over yourself that no one, not the critic, not the manipulator, not the energy vampire, could touch your peace? That's what we're here to uncover today. Not the loud, flashy version of power. Not the kind that comes from proving someone wrong or clapping back with the perfect comeback. I'm talking about the kind of strength that is quiet, unshakable, and untouchable. Because the smartest way to deal with toxic people isn't to beat them at their game. It's to rise so far above it. They can't even reach you. They want you on the chessboard. They want you reacting, doubting, defending, explaining yourself. Because the moment you react, they win. Toxic people thrive on one thing: control. And they get it by dragging you into their chaos. Think about it. That person who always has a jab, a dig, or a little comment meant to sting. They don't actually want a conversation. They want a reaction. They want you upset. They want you spiraling. Because when you spiral, you're not steady. And when you're not steady, you're easy to control. Now, here's the game changer. Once you see it, they lose their grip. It's like pulling the curtain back and realizing the wizard is just a man pressing buttons. The insults, the manipulation, the guilt trips, they're not personal, they're tactics. And when you recognize tactics, you stop playing the game. Picture this. You're standing in a storm, wind howling, rain slamming down, trees bending sideways. That storm screams, "Pay attention to me, fight me." But what happens if you just stand tall and refuse to be moved? Eventually, the storm passes. It has to. Toxic people are the same. Their energy cannot survive without fuel, without a reaction. The smartest people don't waste time trying to fix or fight the toxic. They step back, analyze, and say, "I see you, I know what you're doing, and you don't get to own my peace." That's the first step, awareness. You cannot win a game. You don't even realize you're playing. Once you recognize the game, you've already taken their biggest weapon away, your blind reaction.
Now that you've recognized the game,
here's the part most people get wrong. They think strength is about clapping back, about having the sharpest words, the loudest voice, the last word. But let me tell you something, that's not strength. That's reaction, and reaction means you're still letting them set the rules. Real strength, it's mastery over yourself. It's walking into chaos and staying calm like you own the room. That's emotional discipline. And make no mistake, it's not weakness, it's dominance. I'll give you an image. Imagine someone throwing matches at you, one after the other. If you're covered in gasoline, your insecurities, your triggers, your anger, you're going to go up in flames every single time. But if you've done the work, if you've built emotional armor, those matches land and burn out. No fire, no fuel, no drama. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Your emotions are your responsibility, not theirs. Yours. And the moment you decide, no one gets to control how I feel but me, you step into a level of freedom most people never experience. So ask yourself, are you driving the car or are you handing the wheel over every time someone presses your buttons? Because emotional mastery isn't about denying what you feel, it's about choosing how, when, and if you express it. That choice is your superpower. Here's where most people fail. They recognize the game. They even keep their emotions in check. But then they let toxic people right back in over and over again. And you know why? Because they don't set boundaries. Let me be crystal clear. Boundaries are not rude. They are not selfish. Boundaries are survival. Boundaries are self-respect in action. See, toxic people will always test the line. Always. If you don't draw it, they will. And guess what? They will draw it in their favor, not yours. They will push and push and push until you're drained, doubting yourself, or worse, believing that their treatment of you is normal. Think of boundaries like body armor. You don't put on armor because you're planning to start a fight. You put it on because you understand that not everyone out there has good intentions. You're not weak for wearing it. You're smart. And boundaries don't always look like cutting someone off completely. Sometimes it's distance. Sometimes it's limiting access. Sometimes it's saying, you don't get to speak to me like that. You don't get this part of me. You don't get that close. But here's the kicker. You cannot apologize for enforcing them. Too many people set a boundary and then backpedal the second someone calls them cold or dramatic or difficult. No, boundaries are not open for debate. They are not negotiable. Every time you enforce a boundary, you are teaching people how to treat you. And if someone can't respect the line, they don't respect you. It's that simple. So ask yourself, where in your life have you let the line fade? Who have you allowed to cross it again and again? And are you willing to finally say, enough, this is where it stops? Because the truth is this, you don't rise by making yourself smaller to fit in someone else's chaos. You rise by protecting your space, your time, and your peace. Like they're the most valuable currency you have, because they are. Here's a hard truth. Not every battle is worth fighting. Some of you are losing years of your life arguing with people who will never change, explaining yourself to people who don't care, chasing validation from people who already decided not to respect you. And the more you chase, the more power you hand over. You want the smartest move? Detach, disengage, walk away. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but if I walk away, won't they think they've won? Let me tell you something. You don't need to prove victory to someone who isn't even worth the fight. Silence is louder than any comeback. Distance is stronger than any speech. See, toxic people survive on attention. Whether you're loving them, fighting them, defending yourself against them, it doesn't matter. As long as you're locked in with them, they're winning. The real kill shot? Total disengagement. Starve them of your energy. Leave them talking to themselves. And here's the part most people struggle with. The guilt. You've been conditioned to think you owe people explanations, second chances, access to you, but you don't. You do not owe anyone your peace. You do not owe anyone your presence. You do not owe anyone the keys to your mental and emotional state. Walking away is not weakness. It's strategy. Think of it like this. A warrior doesn't swing his sword at every shadow. He saves his strength for battles that matter. And toxic people? They are shadows. No substance, just noise. So when you feel that pull, the bait, the manipulation, the drama, remember this, you have the right to disengage. You have the right to protect your energy. And you have the right to leave someone standing in their own chaos while you walk out free. That's not running away. That's rising above. You've recognized the game. You've mastered your emotions. You've built your armor. You've learned when to walk away. But here's the last piece of the puzzle, who you let close. Because you can do all the work in the world, but if you keep inviting toxic people into your circle, you're opening the gates to the enemy yourself. Your environment matters, the people around you matter, you become like the voices you listen to most. If your circle is full of complainers, manipulators, and energy vampires, don't be surprised when you feel drained, stuck, or small. But if your circle is made of people who push you, elevate you, and respect you, watch how fast you rise. You need to start auditing your life. Who fuels you? Who drains you? Who challenges you to grow? And who clips your wings the moment you try to fly? Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Access to you is a privilege, not a right. And the smarter you are about who you allow in, the stronger, freer, and more unshakable you become. Because here's the truth. Toxic people don't just want to ruin your day. They want to shape your identity. They want to make you doubt your worth. They want you living small. But when you protect your circle, when you guard your peace, like the treasure it is, you don't just survive them, you outgrow them. You thrive beyond them. And that is the smartest way to deal with toxic people. Not to fight, not to prove, not to waste years of your life in battles that were never worth fighting. The smartest way is to rise above, to master yourself, to set boundaries like armor, to walk away without guilt, and to surround yourself with people who remind you of your strength, not those who drain it. So the next time you walk into that room, the one heavy with energy, the one filled with storms, remember this: you do not have to live in their weather. You carry your own climate, you carry your own light, and no matter how toxic they are, no matter how loud their chaos gets, they cannot touch a soul that has already decided, I am untouchable. At the end of the day, toxic people are not your problem. They are not your responsibility to fix, to save, or to carry. Your only responsibility is this: protect your peace, guard your energy, and stand in your own power. Because here's the truth: life is too short to waste in battles that drain you, too precious to spend explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you, and too valuable to let anyone poison your spirit. The smartest way to deal with toxic people is not by fighting them, it's by refusing to hand them the keys to your emotions, your time, your mind, or your heart. They only win if you play their game. And the moment you stop playing, the game ends. So walk tall, set your boundaries, master your emotions, protect your circle, and when you cross paths with the storm, don't bend, don't break, don't shrink, stand still, because storms always pass, but unshakable souls remain. And that right there is the victory.